I'd like to speak today about our state constitution. As you know, this referendum is not about whether we allow slots into Maryland, it's about whether we allow slots into our founding document, into our Constitution. Government is a compact between the people and the state, and government exists not to victimize the people, but to protect the life and prosperity of each citizen. When the state enters into the gambling business, it makes itself the adversary of the citizen. The state cannot win unless the citizen loses, as Barbara pointed out. And when the citizen loses, we all lose. And the weaker and more vulnerable the citizen is, the more important these protections become. The National Gambling Impact Study revealed that 2.4% of gamblers are responsible for about a third of casino revenues. Another study showed that 1% of gamblers accounted for 50% of wagers. These gamblers are not savvy, they're not glamorous, and they're not wealthy. These are the weakest and most vulnerable among us. These are the people who most need and deserve the protections of government. Likewise, these are the last people our government should be victimizing with regressive and addictive policies. The good news, however, is that our state constitution is there to protect the people of Maryland. Article 10 protects our freedom of speech. Article 13 allows us to bring our grievances before the Assembly. Article 24 protects us from being imprisoned or having our property seized without due process of law. It's a pretty serious document. Through this referendum, the National Gambling Lobby seeks to subvert the role of the Constitution and to weaken it with the introduction of language legalizing addictive, exploitative, regressive slot machines in our state. So I have to ask, how can we justify the degradation of Maryland's most important document with something as destructive and as corrupting as slot machine gambling? The relationship between government and the governed may seem like a lofty concept, but there's another more pragmatic set of problems that comes with inserting gambling language into the state constitution. Like the US Constitution, our state constitution is purposely difficult to amend. The intention is to preserve the strength and integrity of the document and to derail ill-advised and momentarily popular, yet misguided ideas from becoming pillars of our system of laws. Should the referendum pass, it will become extremely difficult to modify the structure of this new predator, and it will be nearly impossible to reverse. Once in place, any change in the language, no matter how minor, will have to garner supermajority support in the General Assembly and then go before voters. The regulation and management of a large gambling industry is simply too complex to manage through such a purposefully unwieldy process. So we will be almost irreversibly tied to this decision and powerless to take even the most modest steps to lessen the negative and unforeseen impacts. So we need to come together now as a state and reject this gambling referendum. We need to protect the integrity of our Constitution, and we need to insist that government work for the people and not prey upon the people. Our Constitution has been there to protect us since its ratification in May of 1867, and the time has come for us to return the favor. It's bad enough that we're talking about letting this predator into our state without letting it into our Constitution as well. Thank you.